Happy Sunday. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. It is December 7th, and we've got 6 advent calendars to do today. You can see the whole stack here. So let's get started. Today we're going to start with the Ravensburger. Ooh, noisy box. I hope everybody's having a good weekend. So, okay, this one says Buon Natale. Does that mean it's Italian? It is! Venice. It looks like it's that famous bridge. I don't remember what it's called, but bunch of lights, and yeah. That's cool that they have the Italian. I was once in Italy around Christmas, and my friend who lived there brought me to a Christmas fair and taught me about the Befana, which was it's a witch. She's a witch that flies around on January 6th, which is like 12 days after Christmas. It's like almost that there are 12 days accounted from Christmas, not a countdown to Christmas. And good kids get presents, and the bad kids get a lump of coal in their stocking. And at this Christmas fair, they were selling lumps of coal. And the funny thing is, it wasn't real lumps of coal. It was carbonized sugar. So they look like coal, but it's like sweet, which is like, I thought it was super cute. Because you could actually give bad kids a lump of coal, but it would still be a little gift because it's candy. But that got me wondering about this whole, 12 days of Christmas. Is it 12 days to Christmas or from Christmas? Because it's 12 days of Christmas, but I think people have always counted it as starting, it's a countdown, so that the 12th day would be Christmas Day, maybe? At least for the Advent calendars, we count to Christmas. That's why most of them are 24 boxes, so that you start on December 1st and you get to the Christmas Eve. Good morning, Sue. Thank you for joining me. What are you up to today? Let's see. So, today for Ravensburger's Venice, if you're just joining me. And I do wonder if it will be smarter to just leave the edges in the box like some other people are doing now, since we know that they're all the same, and then at the end of the month I'm just going to have to take them all apart. Yeah, maybe I will, but not today. I have them all out. I'll just put them up. Let's see. I kind of half know where a lot of these pieces go already. So, no, I think it's there. You'd think, having done 6 of these already, I would have a much better memory about where these pieces go. I know there's an orange here. Is it that orange? Right, let's finish this one up, and then I should almost start timing myself on this border to see if I'm actually improving on it. This one. What am I doing? And there we have it. day 7 of the Ravensburger, Italy. Where's the number 7? There. Buon Natale. Okay. And here I've been putting them in this box. Day 5 had a missing piece, so I had to start a new stack. Otherwise, the whole thing will be precarious. And now I keep them in a box because on day 4, they slid off the board I was keeping them on. And it made a mess, and I had to redo them. Let's see, let's put this down this way. And now we can do Reverie, Christmas Around the World. Hey! The Italy Day, it's not today, but it's actually the Le Befana that I was mentioning. Alright, we'll get to that. But today, we'll do France because I want to do this in order. So, France, Le Réveillon de Noël. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Le Réveillon de Noël is a lavish festive dinner on Christmas Eve, usually extending well past midnight. Some delicacies may include seafood for starters, turkey or goose as the main, and bûche de Noël, Yule log for dessert, all accompanied by fine wine and champagne. Oh, that looks absolutely delicious. Do you have a favorite yet? Of all the puzzles I've been doing, you know, it's hard to say. They're all very different. I like different things about them. Like, for example, I'm loving the cloudberries that glow, the glow in the dark one, just because I get the fun of seeing it glow in the dark. But in the Wasgage, each day's image is kind of a fun little puzzle to discover what's going on. I don't actually normally do most Wasgages. I've been doing their advent calendars, but I almost never buy their regular puzzle because I'm like, the style doesn't appeal to me and it's not great for speed puzzling. So, but I guess when I'm doing it in small doses, I'm in the mood for the humor of it. And the Gibsons and the Ravensburger are very classically pretty, but they are not exactly the most fun puzzles to do. Like the Wasgage and the Cloudberries are more fun because they're colorful and they're cheerful images, but you know, they don't look as compelling when they're put together. But that's the case with a lot of jigsaw puzzles. What makes a good picture per se doesn't always make a good puzzle. And I often pick for the picture, but then I know I judge it based on the puzzle, which is kind of roundabout, I think. They are very different. I only have the Ravensburger, so I'm enjoying your mix very much. Yeah, I'm lucky to be able to find this whole mix. Also, then there's the ugly sweater, for example, although there are only 15 of those. Those are challenging. When I do them, it takes me a while to get those together, which is good for me because I'm doing styles of puzzles that I won't normally do. Because in small doses, I can handle almost anything, right? I think, are these Brussels sprouts? If I get too stuck, I'll look at the picture over there. But yeah, Reverie has been also a bit challenging just because it's a small puzzle and the images, there's a lot of similar pieces whenever you open up one of the Reverie Advent puzzles. Like yesterday was a lot of wood, and today there's a lot of green and red. And maybe I should look at the picture and then it'll get me better at pick and place, which is a technique that some of my friends use for speed puzzling. I don't practice that very often. Judy, good morning. Ooh, I'm doing my first Wasgage 1000 piece right now. Finding it pretty tricky, but it's coming together. Yeah, I remember the first time I did it, you had to rely on a lot of different other techniques. Like, definitely have to look for similar textures. You can't rely on the picture. You have to sometimes work by shape, but you have to sort of solve a mystery as you go. Like, you're putting pieces like, okay, what could this be? Like, you can make a guess, but then comes the hard part of not knowing where anything goes on the board. So you kind of take up the entire space until you slowly connect islands and join them together, and then you kind of get more of an idea of relative placement. So it's challenging in a different way. And maybe if my puzzling goals were different, I think I would enjoy it, because I've done them before it was a speed puzzle, and I enjoyed them. But I do a lot more puzzles now, and relatively short amount of time, and I can't have one puzzle that's a leisure puzzle take up too much of that time, else I'll never get through my giant stack of puzzles. There's so many puzzles I want to try, I want to review, I have to do, because I have to return them to people. So it really helps to cut down the amount of puzzles you buy if you find friends that you can share with. So that's a tip. Because over the last few years, we've managed to find a bunch of people who we lived relatively close to each other. I mean, all within like a couple of hours drive, and we see each other at swaps regularly or at competitions, and then we'll have a giant stack of puzzles that we'll trade. And like we have a system of putting post-its on the puzzles so we know who owns it, who's next on the list, stuff like that. We have had to develop systems. Alright, so I've gotten a few islands together. Let's start looking at the okay, this asparagus and the shrimp. Oh, that makes me hungry. I like shrimp a lot. And this Brussels sprouts in the corner. And some dumplings up here. I think that is a plate of oysters. Oh no, these are like mushroom caps. No escargot. It's French after all. And this is, sliced bread. Hey, the sliced bread is regular bread, not French bread. I mean, just because it's French doesn't mean they must always eat French bread. And little pots of sauce everywhere. Good afternoon. By Lilu. I hope I pronounced it right. Thank you for joining me. What are you up to today? Let's see. 8 a.m. here, so it's probably a bit later where you are. I can't think or math or logic while I'm doing jigsaw puzzles. Let's finish this one first. We're working on the Reverie advent calendar. Today's France, and I can't pronounce it, but Le Réveillon de Noël, where they spend Christmas Eve eating a very, very large and long meal. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, why don't we all do that? My family doesn't really do anything for Christmas Eve, and we're not big on cooking either. So for a while, in fact, when my kid was young, for a number of years in a row, we would find ourselves at the same restaurant having a Christmas Eve dinner together there. It was open, it was kind of a festive place. We really liked it. Unfortunately, it's closed a little while ago. I don't know what we're doing this year. I mean, for Thanksgiving, we go to family. And Christmas Day, we go to family. But Christmas Eve, it's kind of, we're homebodies, and I guess we pretty much just stay at home and relax. What does everybody else do at Christmas Eve? I've been playing Magnet Tiles with my daughter. Made the Advent Day, made some clay Xmas decals to give to our classmates, and now chilling with your stream. Oh, thank you. Magnet Tiles. I remember my kid playing with those. Those were fun. They weren't around when I was a kid, but I really liked them. It's just a different form of being creative. That's cool that you do that with your kid. Yeah, my child is relaxing upstairs. They're a teenager now, so they keep to themselves a little more. Also, they had a busy day yesterday. My child has pet rats. They had two, and they said this because rats are very social, they get lonely. So my child, we decided to let them get a few more, so there'll be more of a community. And so yesterday they went and got 3 more. So now there are 5 rats, and the breeder lived really far away, so they had a very long journey to go get it. And now they're working to socialize and introduce the new baby rats to the grown-up rats. So they've got some work ahead of them, but I know they care very much about making it go well. So they'll be busy doing that. I'll leave them to it. Unfortunately, even I think the rats are super cute, but it turns out I'm allergic to them. So it's okay because they don't roam the house, but I can't really hang out with them. But yeah, the baby rats, they're like, well, the adult rats, my kid knows that I find them funny when she makes them dance. Because they're like chubby little creatures. And when you like shift their bodies like as though they're doing a little hula dance, it's the cutest thing. Alright, I'm just kind of randomly moving pieces into place. Let's be a little more deliberate about this, so we can get to see the other puzzles too in a timely manner. So we have lobsters, and there's greenery all over the table. I mean, it's very pretty, but I don't think I ever decorate my table like that. But then again, I'm not terribly domestically inclined. Just try as much as possible to get them not all day screen time, and try some creative ways of spending time. And as you love art and craft, we do so much of it together. That's wonderful. Yes, reducing the amount of screen time is still a good thing. Even though electronics have become like so necessary, and they are very useful in modern life, but developmentally it's still better for the children to have offline time, and that's been shown by research over and over. So you're doing great. It's so exhausting though sometimes. I'm like, I just want to give them an iPad and just let them take care of it themselves, but that's like, it's what you sign up for as a parent. Although we've definitely used it on occasion where, as an emergency. So my child definitely became very technologically fluent, but they have a lot of offline preferences. Spending time with their pets, doing art. My kid wants to become an artist. I'm very excited about that. Even though it's not something I can help with because I am a tech person. But I'm just glad they enjoy being offline enough that they want to make that their career. Like physical art medium. They would like to be a sculptor, actually. Ceramics and sculpting. They've done some really neat projects over the years. Let's see. Where do these oysters go? Oh, it's actually must be a warm day. My Santa hat is feeling kind of warm on my head. Some days it's so chilly, and some days I start perspiring under this. What's the temperature like where you all are? in a few weeks I'm headed to Boston. And sometimes we get there and it's like super cold some years. And then some years I'm like, there's no snow anywhere. What happened to all of it? Same here. I'm a tech person and I'm horrible at art projects. My daughter already draw better than me, but I supply her with all help I can. That's the way I feel about it. In fact, my short-lived other YouTube channel that I created, my child was the one who drew the logo for me, because they actually draw really well, especially digitally. I made a first version, and then they sort of looked at it and like, oh, that's cute, Mom. So imaginary patting me on the head, and then they did a really cool version, and then gave it to me. I'm like, oh, thank you. But yeah, I promise to provide them with all the materials I can, whatever they want. They just have to ask, and I'll get out of their way. As long as they're doing something with themselves and applying themselves and always trying hard, I'm not going to complain about what it is. I sometimes joke with them, like, I'm not very Asian. Like, I'm not a really good Asian mom, because the Asian mom will be telling you to be a lawyer, be a doctor. And I'm like, be an artist, that's fine. Although I suppose now being in tech is also probably something that Asian parents want, but wasn't the case in my day. Warm, around 18 degrees at the moment. Oh yeah, that's nice and toasty. Well, relatively, I guess. Because when I grew up in Singapore, 17 degrees was, my fingers were turning blue. But of course, at the time we were dressing for 30-degree weather. So it's all relative, I guess. I think I haven't been back to Singapore for a while, but at least in summer. I think it's probably warmer now. Let's see. Almost done with that. Oh, doing a puzzle of food first thing in the morning seriously makes me hungry. I'm going to have an early lunch after this. It's always the case though. Every time I work on a puzzle with food, I'm like, oh, that looks delicious. Oh, I wish I actually had that food with me. I wonder if there's a business idea there. Puzzles at restaurants. Although that could just be a big mess. At the end, it's better than people/kids, that people and kids follow what they're passionate for, and even more if they really try to get really good at it. I totally agree. And I was lucky that even though when I decided I wanted to become a tech person, tech really wasn't a thing at the time. There really weren't tech careers that I had heard of, and I didn't know what I was going to end up doing, but I knew what I really had a passion for, and so I went to school for it. And by the time I graduated, the tech boom was just about happening, so I was very lucky in that respect. But I think if you're trained for the skills that you're interested in, you will learn to be able to find something that will be of use to society, and that maybe you can make a living from, but you have to work hard at it. I think that's the key, and be smart about it. All right, so there we go. A very busy looking, delicious French feast. And let's pick it up and put it here. I've been using this postcard because these pieces are a little bit loose. And by the end, we'll have a giant stack of pieces, and it'll take me forever to put them back in their boxes. But maybe I'll be able to lay them all out and take one photo of it all together. Let's see. All right. Here's the wasgage. Oh, yesterday I finally noticed that this one reindeer here has a headband and it says Donna, and that made me go back and look at the puzzle the day before. And the one up here, I think it said Dancer. So they're actually laying blame on the individual reindeer, so you can see who's causing chaos. I guess you could have seen it in this picture here, but they're so tiny I needed to zoom in using my phone. So let's see what we have today. We're 7. It's here somewhere. There we are. All right, so we have a balcony with a couple toasting each other. They look happy for now. Does a reindeer join them or something? Let's see. So this is colorful and fun. I see blue, which just looks like a couch. So the perspective has gone inside the apartment. And I see a tree with ornaments on it. Let's put that part together. Okay. That's this blue stuff. Is this the bottom or the top? I think it's the bottom of the couch. So did the couple go inside after the toast and sit on the couch? The anatomy is confusing me. I don't know which way body parts are going. Okay, I think this works. Okay, and let's see what next I can work off. So yeah, when I work a wild sketch puzzle, you just have to like find little things to connect pieces, since you start out not knowing what anything is and what anything is. Okay, some roses here. That probably goes on a side table somewhere. Okay, so there's a woman on the side of the couch and a man on the side. Is this blue this is more of the couch. Okay, so here we have the armrest and that connects there. This might be the other side of the couch. Not sure. That looks like curtains. Oh, here's a foot. It goes there. So she's in red. So let's put the red pieces together. She's in red and she's screaming. Totally legit reaction. Something is happening. There. Oh, okay. Let's see. This is a wall. I think this looks like, okay, the yellow part is the rug. I'm seeing some clues of chaos. So I do not see a reindeer in today's picture, so it could be that the chaos is not caused by reindeer today. I nearly blamed them. Let's see. That's what's there. What's there? Alright, it's coming along. Whose arm is this? Is this a head? Okay. Let's see. Alright, almost done. And then I can look and figure out what is going on. Alright, so couple sitting on a couch. He's trying to kiss her. She is screaming because their cheese, this French cheese of course, is being stolen by two little rats. That's funny, especially since I was just talking about rats earlier. Also that cheese, is it brie cheese or Swiss cheese? Well, either way, that they moved in from toasting on the balcony to moving in, and it's not a reindeer's fault today, but still very chaotic. Wow, wild sketch is sure easier in this size. I totally agree. 1,000 pieces of this would take me a very long time. I mean, when I did it, it was out on a table in a conference room so that people could just like do it in between events. And so I didn't time myself because I wasn't speed puzzle then, but I'm pretty sure it was a very leisurely activity. Or this one's easier to find pieces that go together because there's just fewer of them. So given that I don't have a lot of time to spend on, like, I don't have 12 hours to spend on a single puzzle, Gitch is not really the brand for me right now, but in small doses, it's great. Okay, so this is Gibsons, Tales of Christmas, and I've also brought out the board I've been storing the rest of the Gibsons on. Let's see, so you can see them right here. 6 different shapes so far. Today's day number 7. Would it be a new shape? Probably, quite likely. Let's find out. I still don't know where I put my scissors. You know what? Give me a second. I think I know where it is. Aha! It is where I would have hoped to find it. Okay. Oh wait, no, it's a. I think today's a rectangle. Oh, maybe it'll be this one. I'll match that one. Although I don't know if it's a good idea to stack them up. I'm very clumsy at moving these boards around, and I tilt them somewhat. Oh, it's definitely a book. And the cut is good enough that there's no false fits, even though it's like, it's got the kind of edge that I would recommend people never start with. Like, so some people believe it as a rule they should always start with the edge, but when it's an edge that looks like this and it's all the same color and pattern, I don't recommend that because it's just, it can be frustrating for some people. And puzzles shouldn't be frustrating. That I strongly believe in. I mean, you can if that was part of the experience you're going for, but generally I buy puzzles as my entertainment or, you know, for my sport where I train to get faster. So yeah, life's too short to be too mad about puzzles. Okay, so there's text on the bottom like this one. Oh no, it's the spine. Okay, see, that helps me. Am I cheating? It's Happy Christmas, limited edition. And there's some, 'twas the night before Christmas. Okay. And that goes there. And the blue stuff is down the side. No relation to the puzzle Gibsons, I wish. Oh, your last name, Gibsons. Speaking of relations, did you know that the founder of Ibu has a last name? Her name is Mia Gallison. And yes, the Gallison's Puzzles is her family's business, and she decided she wanted to go her own way and started her own company. I don't think that was bad blood or anything. It's just when she grew up, that's what she decided she was going to do. I don't know if that's like well known, but it wasn't hard for me to find it out on the internet. I thought it's interesting. That's like kind of a, it's, you know, in her blood. She grew up like, I'm going to make puzzles. I don't want to make puzzles in my family's business, but I'm going to make puzzles. Let's see. And both of those companies make pretty cool puzzles, different style. Ibu really leans into the fact they're women-owned and very progressive designs. Gallison and the Mud Puppy brands are just cute. I don't keep up with Gallison's releases because they make so many, but every time I find them, I'm like, oh, this is really, really cute. I mean, I try to keep up with Ravensburger at least because they're used in competitions. But like the Mud Puppy collages, for example, those are some of the fastest puzzles I've done. Alright, so there's a fireplace here, and that went pretty quickly. And oh, stockings. 'Twas the night before Christmas. Alright, let's see if I can flip this over and see what's in the back. It's a postcard. I'm going to have so many postcards by the end of this. And I will stack it here. There. Let's move this over. And here's the cloudberries we're working on. I feel like one of those chefs on a cooking show. Like, yes, here's the rolls we have just put together, but here's a tray that I prepared earlier. Alright, we can work on this one down below here. And keep that image of mystery, and now we get to start on the second row. And I think this board is like almost exactly going to be the right size for this puzzle, I hope. I didn't measure it, but these boards work great for 1,000-piece puzzles. And I don't take apart my puzzles immediately, so I end up with a stack of puzzles like this thick. Okay, number 7, wisdom. Piece by piece, you'll find your piece. Unknown. You know, when you go to a lot of puzzle competitions, you see phrases like this all the time. One of my team's names is War and Peace. I believe there's piece by piece puzzling. Piece by piece is just like a very well used phrase, well loved. But that particular one doesn't feel like it's anything new to after having seen so many puzzle puns. And there are so many puzzle puns. I love them. They're always like, I always wish I was, when I see a good one, I'm like, oh, I wish I was that clever. But there's only so many opportunities for me to use them. So let's see what we're working on here. I don't actually know. Alright, there's some yellow flower. There's a lot of brown texture. And this looks like some ribbon. I can't scrapbook it. Hello, what is that word? Cloudy? Oh, cloudberries. Sorry. Yes. You know, it's funny because sometimes in my family I call strawberries strawberry. Nobody else does it. It's just me. So I should have been able to read it when you said cloudy. Yes, this is the cloudberries. And so we have some flowers. What is this brown thing? Alright, let's just put it together and we'll find out. Put in your guesses for what you think this is. Could be nothing. Could be just... Oh, it's gotta be something. Is it skin tone? It's kind of purpley to be a skin tone. But I'm seeing things that's kind of like fingernail. Because you have one hand here. You have a different hand here, I think. Yeah, it is somebody else's hand with a different skin tone. But it's got this purple cast to it. Well, I'm sure there's only so much you can do with printing. Alright. Or maybe it's just my eyes interpreting it as purple. I don't know which way it goes, but that's a reindeer. I think it's a human hand. It's just that it's very I keep thinking it's purple. I don't know how it's looking on the camera. I think the color looks pretty correct on the camera. Does it look purple to you? There's like this pinkish brownish combination, which my eyes are definitely interpreting as purple. And you know, I don't know of anybody who actually has purple skin. Or do I? I can't remember if I've ever met anybody with purple skin. But you know, maybe they've taken some creative license with the tones. I will appreciate the fact that it depicts some diversity and not everybody with the same pink tone. Let's see, why is this ribbon part? here. Okay. All right, that's taking shape. And so there's a yellow flower, some purplish flowers, some berries, a ribbon, and the start of a dark skinned hand, which my eyes think is purple, but I think it's meant to be brown. I guess it's brown with this red glow on it and a bit of purple glow. You know what? It's Christmas lights glowing on it. It happens. So here we go. And people, all sorts of hands going to be reaching in, helping to decorate. That'll be fun. All right. Here's the cloudberries glow in the dark one. I posted a video, the first 5 glowing in the dark, on Instagram. It was really pretty. The cloudberries also shared it, I think. So I can't wait till this. In a week, we'll have 2 rows done, and I'll post another one of that. Let's see. So, number 7, trivia. In many countries, candles are lit in the 4 days before Christmas Day, symbolizing hope, peace, joy, and love. I didn't know that. 4 days? And I wish I know which countries. I don't think that's a US thing. It's kind of similar to like Hanukkah, where they have 8 candles, I think. But hope, peace, joy, and love. 4 candles. I wish they'd gone into more detail, but I presume that means that today's image is going to be of candles. Yes, there they are. Now I'm always going to be like counting candle displays to see if it's 4 candles. I'm just going to have to go look it up and get more and educate myself on it. I just seriously had never heard that. Did you notice that 4 days of candle lighting for Christmas? Candlesticks. Well, that's one thing I don't have that I've always known about. Candlesticks. I have candles. They don't fit on sticks. I suppose you'd have to buy those tall white candles. But those fall over easily. In fact, when I was little, sometimes we had blackouts growing up, and I'd be like, I looked forward to them because that's when the candles came out, and we could light candles, and I thought it was immensely fun to light candles. But my father was like, fire hazard, no. But fun. And now that I'm a grown up, I will buy my own candles and burn them because I can. My child noticed that a lot of things I do is just making up for perceived lack from when I was a kid. And like when I say, oh, you should want to do this, then they'll be like, yes, I know, you didn't get to do it, that's why you want me to be able to do it, but I don't need to do it, Mom. My child knows me. They understand where I'm coming from. Alright. Either I did something wrong or there's more than 4 candles here. More likely I just joined them incorrectly. That's what's happening. There. Because especially after what that little blurb said, I cannot imagine that there'll be more than 4 candles here. Alright. Thanks for joining us, Scrapple Jake. Yeah. With the children, huh? That's right, Balilu. But at least my child's very patient with me in that way, because I can ramble like, oh, you know, this thing, and it. Yes, you've told us the story like 4 times already. I'm like, well, it's important to me. I just want to make sure you know it. It's a indulgent sort of patience that my child has with me. It never got to the point of like, you know, rebellious teenager, thankfully. I was dreading that for a long time. and it didn't happen. So I count myself very, very lucky. Oh, and this is falling into place quite quickly. And we have our ivy and candles. So that joins up here. Can you see it on camera? Yes. It doesn't feel like the candles glow, which is funny. They shouldn't have made the candle part glow, because it feels like the wax part itself glows, but not the flame. We'll see what it looks like at night. So, oh, it's going to be a big tree over here. And who knows what's going to be over here. But, so that's cloudberries for today. And that's our advent calendar session for today. It was a little bit shorter. But it's Sunday, and I'm sure everybody has tons of stuff to do. It's so nice to chat with y'all. Thank you for spending the morning with me. I hope you all have a great Sunday or rest of the day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Happy puzzling! Alright, I can move these somewhere safer now.